Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. Guys, I am Mike Spider Slayer, and above me I have Kat Comic Uno,
Hey guys, what's up?
and of course above me next to her is Brant Fowler.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And like usual, guys, we're going to have a great show for you today. We have a ton of news to talk about. As you guys already know, there was a lot of Marvel, Disney news, Star Wars news, all kinds of crazy stuff to talk about. We wanted to all wait until this show to kind of discuss everything that's going on. So we're not going to waste any time. Just welcome to the show, guys. Remember, give this stream a like. Let your friends know that I exist so we can get more people on here. And guys, let's get ready for this news.
We have so much to talk about. So we're going to start with comic news. And also surprisingly, a lot to talk about there too. So let's get into it. First up, creators want more Last Ronin stories. So I was going to say if it does well, I think it's obvious that it's already doing very well. But I haven't read it. I have the first issue, though, in the collection. But for Mike and Brant, who have read it, are you excited?
Yes. I am excited.
Yeah. For sure. It's such a good story, and it's something I didn't expect. And I just love we talked about it. I guess we can kind of spoil it now who it is.
Yeah,
Michelangelo Michelangelo is the Last Ronin, and he's gone dark because he doesn't have his brothers, and just that whole dynamic of him talking to himself in the voices of his brothers. It's
creepy.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. It's like that's the only way he can cope. And yeah, it's brilliantly written.
It was so done. It was so well done. I just love the whole comic in itself, and to make kind of like a rated R type of book, it goes back to the original days of how TMNT was. Like it was really a pretty violent book, real gritty and dark. And as a teenager at that time when I was reading it, I was like, wow. No wonder why I liked it so much, because it was something so different, and I loved it. And it was just like, it's kind of funny because I actually read a comic in the past. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It was called Boris the Bear, and it was like in that same scope. It was a bear that had machine guns, and he would like kill everything, and but you found out that like he was a robotic bear as time went along in the series. So he was like a Terminator killer bear soldier type of thing. And it was the coolest freaking shit. And I don't have those books anymore. I wish I could show you guys, but it was black and white also. Huh?
You got to find them.
They're hard to find, man. I'll have to look it up one day and show you guys. But it was a classic series. I thought even Brant would know that, but he's not even familiar with it. That's funny.
No, I'm looking at it. It's like it's not that pricey, but it's like $20, $30 for the first issue. It's like 30.
Yeah,
I mean all 7's 30. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's a fun series. Yeah, cool stuff. But I'm excited for TMNT. Bring on the rated R stuff, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
All right, going into next, Spider-Man gets a King in Black special, because every character is getting a King in Black special. I mean, but that one makes sense because it's related to Venom, so I'll probably pick that one up.
I agree. I was like, what's taking so long for Spider-Man not to be tied into this King in Black? Like, King in Black is going on, and he's dealing with freaking Kindred. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but in the Venom event, you see him swinging around, so he's in there. So it just took a matter of time to be like, okay, well, how are we going to fit Spider-Man in this whole thing?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got to get past my old buddy coming back to life and trying to kill me and everyone I love. Oh, Venom. No, I got to get involved. Yeah. No, of course, it's Spider-Man, and got to pick that one up.
Spider-Man's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Why do we need a Spider-Man King in Black special? Because, again, that's the only character I feel like you kind of do need one for.
There's no Venom if there's no Spider-Man. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. All right, getting into there's so many big comic news pieces. Let's see what I want to talk about next. Rob Liefeld is going to write a superhero book for Archie. So that was announced today. I mean, I'm probably not going to get it, but for the Rob Liefeld fans out there, I think it'll be cool for them, him to tackle another franchise, I guess.
He's going to be doing the artwork too, because freaking Archie's going to look like a Cable.
Oh man, I don't know if he's doing the art. I know this cover that they showed was his artwork, but I'm not sure if he's doing the interiors or not.
That would be interesting to see the Archie crew. It's Mighty Crusaders, right? So that is the Archie characters as superheroes, right? Is that what that is? Yeah,
so they're doing like the superhero versions of them. So not the Archie characters yet. We don't know. You never know if they're gonna pop up.
Okay.
I saw I was reading the Walking Dead Deluxe issue 4. I think we're on that series now, and they've been doing variant covers for they do different covers for the book, and in the back they show like all the variants for that particular issue. And Rob Liefeld did a variant for issue 4, and it had Rick and Carl on the cover with zombies in the background, and it was like a skinny Cable. It had the exact same facial expression. The shotgun looked horrible. There was a revolver that just looked like a rectangle and a square. It was so bad, man. And to cover up like the feet, he had blood on it. Rick had blood on his feet, on his shoes.
Oh, of course. I mean, let's be honest. All of Rob Liefeld's faces look like Cable.
Yeah.
Honestly, they really do. So look forward to that. Any other Rob Liefeld thoughts, or we do have a question in the comments here?
Yeah, let's get to the question, please.
Mike Manhattan. Anyone read a symbiote Spider-Man King in Black? I did not, because I haven't read any of the. Well, I read 1 or 2 issues of the Peter David stuff.
I did. I wasn't like so into the very first issue. I have to give it more time to see how it turns out. I mean, it was kind of like they're like he's like fighting like shadow monsters of what I'm saying. It was just so weird. I couldn't really get into it at all. What did you think, Brant, of that one?
Yeah, same thing. I couldn't really get into it either. I actually decided not to continue on with it because
it was that bad for you. I know Black Knight is supposed to be in that book going, making its way going forward. So but I committed to all these tie-ins because I'm doing a series on my channel. Just in case people don't want to buy the tie-ins, but still want to kind of know what's going on. So I'm committed to it and to see, how it turns out. Hopefully it gets better though. Yeah.
I just haven't been loving the tie-ins for it. So I'm probably sticking to the main series with it.
Totally. I am getting issue 2 of King in Black because I realize it's the week that it comes out on Christmas and there's like no books coming out. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll get King in Black.
Yeah, see? Yeah. She really liked it.
I loved it. That's actually the reason.
She's just sitting there going, I'm getting it because there's just not that many books. But deep down, when she gets that book, it's going to be the first one she reads that week.
Yeah. I think it'll be the first one I read because I want it out of the way.
No. It's because you like it. That's what it is. It's your favorite.
That King in Black is pretty good, actually.
That's
really talking about that. It was just,
No, I love him.
Yeah.
I get. Honestly, I'm looking at the list for that week though, and that is like the only big book coming out is King in Black. The rest is like Outcast. Like I don't know. There's good books coming out, but there's not a ton.
There's not a ton. No, there's not.
No, we'll see how that goes for the week of comics if there's any good ones. I hate when it's so small because it's like you don't like anything. It kind of sucks. It's like, oh no, this wasn't a great week for comics. But hopefully there's some good gems in there. But getting into more comic news, we have Batman gets a monthly anthology series with new voices and directly ties into Gotham events. So this is going to be focusing on some supporting characters. So there's a story with Jason Todd and Batman that's going to last, I think, like a few issues, and then they'll move on to someone else, and they're like little short stories. I might give this a try, but I think it's one of those series like, oh, Barbara's in it, I'll pick it up. Oh, Stephanie's in it, I'll pick it up. I don't see myself picking this up every month. It's just if I like a character.
I feel like this is what detectives should be. That's what I've always kind of thought. I've always thought detectives should be for all those characters. But Or vice versa. Well, no, Batman should be Batman. Yeah.
I mean, it could be, but it's like, but again, it's an anthology book. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bunch of short stories, and it's like, do you want that? Do you really want that? I mean, I don't know.
That's
we
why
don't know how. We don't know like if it's going to be bigger or if it's going to be more money, right?
Yeah.
Not that I know. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm again interested that there's new voices. I like that it seems like it's going to be connected to stuff. Like, it seems like the Batman's stories in general are going to be very connected. So we'll see. I don't know. It really depends on what characters are going to show up.
Yeah, I'd like Detective to focus on those characters, but I do like arcs, like a Jason Todd arc, and then switch to a Batgirl arc, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Too many Bat titles, though, which we're going to get into. The next Bat title that was announced, and that is Joker. This literally was announced today. Joker's getting his own ongoing book, and it's going to also be a James Gordon book, so it's going to be like, I think I could say that. Yes, I think I could say that. I did an interview today about this, but I'm pretty sure it was in that. Hopefully I can. But yeah, it's going to be Batman, Joker, and another character. So I'm interested to see that if Joker, I don't know. It's kind of crazy that Joker is gonna be a lead. Like, can he be a lead character? Yeah. But I like that he's sharing the spotlight. Punchline also has a side story, like a secondary story that's gonna continue the one shot. I'm intrigued because Joker War was such a big deal. So like, if it was another year, like I really don't want a Joker series, but it kind of makes sense with everything that's happened.
Yeah, I was going to mention the Punchline thing. I saw that in an article as well, that's got me curious because I did like that one shot, and I'd like to see more about her character. But I'm with you. It's like Joker with an ongoing. It's kind of weird, but if it focus on, it is really weird. But if it focuses on Gordon and other characters around him, maybe it makes more sense. So I'll try it.
I think then it becomes too much of Joker.
Yes.
At that point, like Joker is the main antagonist for Batman, right? And so when you see him, you want him to be that special character that you look forward to. If he gets oversaturated in the books, then it's kind of like, well, he's not that. I mean, he'll always be a cool character, but it won't be special, right? Because he's always going to be in his own book.
Right.
We got a lot of comments. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the question?
No, you go. Somebody asked who's writing Joker. Mike Manhattan asked who's writing Joker.
It's James Tynion. So
okay. I knew he was writing the backup. But okay.
Yeah, so he's writing both of them, and the artist is the artist we've seen in Batman, Gilliam March, who I'm not a huge fan of, so don't know how to feel about that either. But I'm excited for Jim. I'm like more excited for Jim than I am the Joker. I'll definitely try it. I just don't know how long I'll stay on it for. We also have another question from Troy. Does anyone else want to see a reboot of Silver Surfer? I would love to see that. Like a comic reboot? Yeah, why not? I like Dan Slott's Joker, but I mean Joker.
Dan Slott's Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, Silver Surfer right now is Silver Surfer Black. I mean, it's still that way now because he's made his appearance in the Thor books. But I would love to see a Silver Surfer series again in some way, shape, or form. The last one I liked was the one back in the 90s. That's the last one I really enjoyed.
I can never get into Silver Surfer. I keep trying and trying. So I would love a really good reboot that, kind of appeals to me. But that's very selfish.
I mean, it's gonna be hard. Like I like, as you know, I do not like cosmic Silver Surfer. So I feel like I feel like Silver Surfer is a hard character to please for everybody.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Silver Surfer Black, that miniseries that Donny Cates did was a beautifully written series. Like I really enjoyed it. And even though the artwork is not like my style, for some reason, somehow, some way, it wound up fitting. And after you read a couple issues of it, like it made sense for that series. So I enjoyed it to see how Silver Surfer became that black Silver Surfer Black character. So that was good for me. And I know, Kat, you said you like Dan Slott's run, so it's pretty cool.
I like it was a bit grounded. All right, getting into the next thing, and precursor, I would not like any homophobic comments in the comments, thank you. But Star-Lord is revealed to be bisexual. So any of us have read Guardians of the Galaxy or the issue that this has been stated, but I read the panel and I didn't see it coming. I think it is a difference between Kitty and Star-Lord. Like Kitty, it's written in her story to be bisexual. It's very much been, in the character. I do think it's interesting that they're showcasing his bisexuality. Not a fan that they made it polyamorous though. Obviously I think it's great to, have representation with polyamorous relationships. But I think bisexuality, a lot of times there's toxic tropes of saying like bisexuals want everybody and all they want is to be in a polyamorous relationship. So I think it's a little negative just to show, like, to reveal he's bisexual and then at the same moment reveal he's in a polyamorous relationship. I feel like they could, if they wanted to do both of them, they could have done it differently. So I think that's a negative I have, is how they did it here. Again, haven't read the issue. Maybe they did lead into it better than what I think, but I don't love the negative stereotype there, and that's not good representation. And there's so little bisexual representation. It's important to have these good stories. So I hope it is good.
I find it funny how like Kitty and Star-Lord were actually going to get married.
Yeah,
now they're both bisexual.
Yeah, now
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So maybe now they still can get married.
They definitely they relate. They're like, the reason I didn't want to get married to you is because I didn't know I was bisexual. Me either. Cool. Now let's get married.
That's crazy. That's funny. I mean, I didn't read the issue, so I can't really put my 2 cents into the whole situation. I mean, if that's what they want to do, I mean, that's their decision at the end of the day. I really don't have a problem with it. I just find it interesting, like, why all of a sudden? You know what I'm saying? Why are we doing it now?
I'm just curious. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say the character's been around forever. Kind of like how Iceman was and stuff like that. And just all of a sudden now you drop it on people. And, of course, it's always going to cause controversy or whatever the case may be. But personally, for me, I don't have an issue if that's what you choose to do. It's just now, obviously, if you drop that, it's going to have to stick forever with the character.
Yeah.
You go, Brad. Sorry. I was going to say quick. Yeah, you go. Well, there was a comment I want to. Yeah. Tevia mentions, because I actually do agree with this, is that is this the same thing as the Iceman controversy? And in some regards, I say yes, because like, I think it was great that they try to have representation with Iceman and also follow through. Like what Mike said, like, I hope they follow through with it. Like, I wouldn't want to have like the drop of like, he's bisexual and they do nothing with it, because then that's also representation. But going to the Iceman thing, it's just there's negative stereotypes in both. So in that one, Jean outed him. Like, that was horrible. Though he didn't come to terms on his own. It just was a horrible coming out story. No matter if you agree if he should have been gay or not gay in the comic, it's just like, it was really bad the way how Jean did it. And that's why in this, it's like, it's not bad that he's polyamorous, but it might have not been the right timing to do that when you're revealing he's bisexual in that moment. Because, again, there are negative stereotypes that go to that. But what were you going to say, Brent? Sorry.
I was going to say 2 things. One, when I told Lisa about it, she actually wasn't surprised at all. And she doesn't read as much comics as us, but she has read some. And she was like, oh, that seems to make sense for Peter Quill. Just, his characters. I thought that was interesting. But also, I'm curious if that translates to the films eventually.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it, right? He spends more time in space than he ever did in Earth. Yeah. So it's kind of, it makes sense in a way.
Less of the what do you call it? Prejudice against it in space, I would assume.
Right.
Than on Earth. Yeah.
Right.
Which I think would be super interesting. Someone actually mentioned that. How can someone be labeled bisexual when you date alien species? I don't care. Good for Star-Lord. And I think that'd be so fascinating to kind of explore. It's like our societal, like heteronormative worlds we live in. It's like, of course, like it's a topic to talk about if someone's bisexual or gay or whatever. Yeah. I think it would be interesting in an alien world where maybe that's not a topic, because it doesn't have to be, because there's no, there was no societal pressures to explain your sexuality. So I think that'd be a super interesting story. Maybe that's where the polyamory is coming into. Like, I think that'll be interesting to explore. Again, like Mike said, hopefully they do, and it's not just like something they did for a headline, and they actually want to do something for the character.
Because it's something that if you drop that, you're going to have to follow through with it. Otherwise, it's going to be like, well, why did you do that? Did you just get that to try to get attention for yourself? So hopefully people follow through with it. But I agree. I think, after this discussion, it definitely makes sense for the character, because, like I said, he's not just on Earth; he's everywhere. So, hey, good for him.
Let's see more by Star-Lord for sure. I'm ready for it. Any other thoughts on that, or are we gonna move on to the last comic news piece?
No, okay. We're good. I think. Good.
Going into the next Batman, identity revealed as Tim Fox. So this is a new character. So once again, Future State's going to be important, and especially for you spec readers. It looks like there's going to be a lot of issues, a lot of firsts. So this is going to be a first appearance of Tim Fox. They're probably going to do more with that character. So you might want to pick them up if you're just a collector as well. But yeah, I think we knew it was going to be a Fox character. It's kind of cool that it's a new character. I like that. I like that they didn't go with the obvious and make it Luke Fox. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I don't have much else to say because he's a new character.
Yeah, well, I think I read something that he was mentioned or made some kind of appearance like decades ago. When so like he's an estranged son or something like that. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that somebody dug deep into the mythos of Lucius Fox and pulled out a son that we forgot about or something. I don't know. Either way, it's interesting, and I like it. I think somebody said that I forget who it was, but somebody said a comment that this could be as big as Miles Morales, his debut in Marvel. So
Gonzo said it. He thinks it was Batman 313.
Oh, okay. It has been a while.
Yeah, a long while.
Just a little bit.
I think it's kind of cool that you get someone that's different, and then about the particular comic book itself, like why you see him unmasked is because if you're wearing a mask in this timeline, it's considered an offense, and you could get shot and killed on the spot. So that's why he's not wearing his particular mask.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I'm really interested overall in the Bat line, because compared to this was not my Harley Quinn interview, but compared to the other titles where it's just going to kind of be its own thing, the Bat titles are all connected. So they all have like the stuff with the Mavericks and like the Peacekeepers. So I think that's cool.
It seems like all the books, all the Bat books, are all kind of tied together. They're all dealing with the similar situations. And like I said with Kat, or like Kat said, it's I think that's kind of cool. And the other one that I'm interested in is the Superman, where he's on like War World and he's like going against Mongol or whatever. It's almost like it has a Planet Hulk vibe for me on it. Yeah, that's what it seems like.
It seems like they definitely stole some Planet Hulk vibes on that.
Yeah. Because he's going to be in this planet, and he's going to be doing battles in arenas and stuff like that. So it looks kind of cool.
We'll see where all those go in 2 weeks, I think. We have like 2 more weeks for that. All right, moving into all this media news. So let's get into it. First up, a small news piece. I don't even think it was announced during the Disney stuff, but Rachel McAdams is to return in Doctor Strange. The only thing I wanted to say about that is that she was such a stereotypical girlfriend character. So I'm hoping with the multiverse stuff, they could just do something different with her. Probably not.
I hope they do something. Yeah, for sure.
She was kind of boring. I don't even remember what she was. Was she a nurse?
I forgot she was.
I didn't even realize she was in the movie.
She had a very little piece, and I remember.
Like, I think she was in the beginning of it, wasn't she?
I think you're right. That she was
throughout.
a nurse or another doctor or something. Yeah, I think you might be right. Like at the beginning.
I don't know what she did. Besides, I really don't remember. But that's how. Again, hopefully, second movie she's better, especially because like after. I feel like they mishandled Jane Foster so much, and she's gonna be a lead of a movie. Like, hopefully, they learn their lesson to like actually flesh out their girlfriend characters and not make them all the same.
Exactly.
So next up is as we are kind of gonna discuss, but there's gonna be like 10 Marvel shows, 10 Star Wars shows in the works. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
Like. They just went crazy this past weekend. They're probably just like, yeah, we got nothing else going on with our theme parks right now. Everything else is closed. They're probably just like, we need some kind of positive news, especially since you got HBO Max and all their DC shows. So let's all announce our shows now.
Yeah, I saw some video. Sorry, I saw some video where Bob Iger was like, yeah, internally they were telling us, don't get your hopes up. We're probably not going to reveal that much. There might be one big announcement. And then they dropped all that. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, my God. Which, let's actually get into it. So, we have, like, a lot of news. So, let's start with the Star Wars stuff. First up, Obi-Wan Kenobi, which we knew was going to have a show. It has been announced that the Darth Vader from the prequel movies is going to be Darth Vader again.
Yeah.
That guy. He's going to be in it. Didn't want to pronounce his name wrong, so why not just not say it? He's in it. Darth Vader. Yay.
No, it's not just yay, Kat. It's like pretty freaking cool. Like, it kind of is. Like, the show takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And to get those same actors back to play this later on, I think
they're gonna be so old.
but I mean, yeah. But to get Darth Vader in a show, and just to get Obi-Wan back in there, I think this show is going to be huge. I think it's going to be better than probably the freaking most recent movies, to tell you the truth, because that's what people want to see. I said,
is that saying much? Because those movies haven't been great.
I know, but not the end. I didn't like the way it ended, that last one. But
I didn't like the last one, and I didn't like Solo, and those are the two I haven't liked.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's very promising. I think that could be really a really good show, man. I can't wait for that.
I agree. Yeah, Mandalorian's great. I agree. Yeah, catch up. Oh,
I know. I almost did this. My brother came over, and we were gonna do a family watch of something. We already watched Wonder Woman because we were setting up for the next one. They never saw Wonder Woman. I'm like, why don't we watch The Mandalorian? And they all said no, so we watched Veep.
Oh,
so I haven't.
It's so good. It's hurting my feelings.
I was close to watching it. It just didn't happen.
I still got to watch that episode. I might actually watch it tomorrow, like this past week's episode.
Yeah.
But god damn, that show is.
It's just so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I feel like that's the way Star Wars maybe should have always been, right? It's just like it does so well in that type of pacing, and it just keeps getting better and better every single episode, So good. Can't wait.
They agree so much. They're doing 10 more. Right?
So many Star Wars shows. Well, speaking of the other big news from Star Wars, that they're gonna have a Sokka. Is that how you pronounce her name? Shaka?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Asaka, I think.
Asaka, let's call her. And then also Rangers of the New Republic are both getting TV shows.
Yeah, I loved Rosario Dawson as Asaka. I haven't watched a whole lot of Clone Wars, so I don't know that much about the character. But she was really good in the episode she was in. And it's a no-brainer to spin that off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes sense. I think she was a very popular character in the Clone Wars. I didn't watch that much of the series either. I took a picture with her at Disney World. I can tell you that much. That was pretty cool. But I think I agree with you in that recent episode that she was in. Like, you would have never thought that that was a TV show that you were watching. That's something that you would have saw in the movie. The way she acted, the battle scenes, just everything about her was really, really well done. And yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect to do a spin-off show after that. And it takes place during The Mandalorian. So what's to say that there's not going to be more crossovers between her and Mando?
Right.
And she voiced from Clone Wars, I'm guessing, right? And it was a surprise she was going to be in the show?
I don't think
Or
she
is
did.
not voiced?
No, I don't think she did.
Yeah.
Someone else voiced her. Okay. But that's still cool. Good casting.
Yeah.
We'll see how the shows go. Now, getting into the Marvel news here, we have Christian Bale is going to play Gore the God Butcher, which is kind of a relatively new character. So that's kind of interesting.
That is very interesting.
That was the only Thor news, though. I was so upset. Like, you're getting all these other news pieces and then nothing to say about Jane Foster.
Yeah, I mean, they did say Tess Thompson was back, and Chris Hemsworth is going to be in that.
We knew that already.
Did we know that? Okay, I didn't know Tess Thompson, but Tessa Thompson. But
No, Tess and Jane, they're gonna make out in the movie, and they're gonna leave Thor to the side.
It's gonna be all about the ladies in this one, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this movie. I love Natalie Portman. I thought they did her dirty in those other Thor movies, and as we know, we all love Jane Foster here. So I'm so excited. It's like I just want something.
Yeah, I like Natalie Portman too. I've watched her win for like so many movies, man, and so I'm excited to see her as this character.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get into, because I'm trying not to like touch upon like the big news yet. Groot gets shorts on Disney Plus, which is cool. It's cute.
It's not surprising. It's long overdue, really.
Yeah, I probably won't watch that though.
Me either.
No, probably not. But it's so cool that it's there.
I think it's cool for kids. I hope they make it very kid oriented.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Guardians of the Galaxy gets a holiday special. I feel like kind of in the vein of like those bad Star Wars.
But hopefully better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not coming out
No
till
life
2022 though, right? I think that's what it said.
Yeah.
2022 holiday. It's like, okay, thanks for announcing that.
Thanks for telling us that right before Christmas, that we'll get it Christmas 2 years from now.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, not a great celebration. We're gonna have to wait a while. Sweet Exorcist said that they love Natalie Portman and Black Swan.
I love that movie. So
Me
good.
too.
With
Black Swan is,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
fantastic. Love how trippy that movie is.
Yeah.
If you ever seen Perfect Blue, it's pretty much the same exact movie because the director just stole that movie to make Black Swan. They literally have they have the same visuals. There's the scene where she's in the bathtub is literally stolen from Perfect Blue. It's the same exact scene. Definitely recommend watching it.
What was that movie that somebody said was exactly like Splash, but it was like, was that underwater movie? There's some kind of water creature. What is it?
Oh, I don't know. That's interesting, though.
It was like you could do scene by scene comparisons, and it was basically Splash, which was kind of funny.
I don't know how they get away with that, but I guess when you're a big time director, you can. But yeah, and The Professional is great too. That's a great one, Leon.
Yeah, The Professional. That was the first movie I remember watching with her in it, and that was an awesome movie too. Gosh, there's some good movies that she's in.
She's so good. They wasted her. She's so good.
Not to mention Star Wars, since we were
Star Wars was cool.
Right, she was in Star Wars. We can't say she
Anakin,
was good.
you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path that I can't follow.
When she does sci-fi, I guess it just doesn't work out for her. But she's gonna try.
No, it's just the script that she gets.
Yeah, again, Natalie, she deserves so much more. But getting into Mashallah, I don't know if Mahershala Ali will be playing Blade, which I didn't know if we knew already. I felt like we kind of did, or like it's been rumored for a while. Or I guess it's confirmed.
I didn't know about that.
I like the casting. This is the guy that played Cottonmouth and Luke Cage, and he was on the 4400, I think. He's a good actor, and the funny thing is he has a very similar aesthetic to Wesley Snipes, right? A little bit. So you can kind of see so it's going to be familiar, but still different. And I think he's a better actor. So it'll be interesting to see him in that role.
speaking of the Perfect Blue Black Swan comet, Mike Manhattan said he also used that same shot in Requiem for a Dream.
That
Yeah.
movie's messed up too,
I've
man.
never seen that movie.
That one's
Oh,
one. I feel like it's a very like film school movie. Either it's just
Yeah.
like you love it or you're like you
Yeah.
hate it. I honestly don't have strong feelings on it, but still
It's
love
weird.
Black Swan, and I guess the director for Black Swan.
Yeah.
All right, getting into. What are you gonna say, Brent?
Yeah, no, they were agreeing with you that he was announced last year. So
Okay,
I guess I
so we
missed
did.
that. Sorry.
We must have all missed it because we're
Yeah.
like, did that happen? I guess it did. Next up is that Ant-Man 3 is going to be called Quantum Mania. King is going to be in the movie, and they also recast Cassie Lang, which the actress of Cassie Lang was very upset about. the other actress that was in the Endgame. She's like, I just don't think they should have done that. They went for the more known actress. I don't particularly know her, but I think she looks like. Where's she from?
Catherine Newton, right?
Yeah, heard the name. Don't know what she's done.
I want to make sure, but I think she was in Netflix's The Society. Hold on, let me look.
She looks the part, and that's exciting. And I'm so glad that Cassie's going to play a bigger role in Ant-Man. It definitely seems like it's setting up for her to be Stature/Stinger.
Well, I think it needs to be to give that series a little bit more of a jump and a little bit more of a supporting cast than what they have.
Yeah,
and also Kate's being introduced, in 2 years or this year. So just like, come on.
Yeah, this girl's been on a rise. Somebody said she was in Detective Pikachu. She's in Big Little Lies on HBO.
Oh, okay. I do know her. She wasn't great in Detective Pikachu. She was also Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, she's the lead actress in The Society, which was I really enjoyed that show on Netflix. So she's she was also Claire on Supernatural, which she had a big role in that show as well. So yeah, she's
that's
done
what
a
they're
lot.
saying here.
And
with Kang being in Ant-Man, though, that's a pretty big villain right there, and I have a feeling that we're not going to see the last of him, and I think he's going to introduce something else after that movie is over.
Yeah.
Oh, that and also. Oh, you go, Brent.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that again. It's leading all to Young Avengers for sure, just because Kang's future young version was part of Young Avengers. Iron Lad.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I know we talked about this before, but the actor that's playing King, I like that actor too. So
I think we're all very excited for Ant-Man. Next up is Armor Wars. So we're using a pretty popular Iron Man title, and this is going to be a War Machine story. I have to say, out of all the stuff that's been announced, I'm kind of like the most lukewarm on this. I'm just like, I don't really care.
God, you're so like young.
I know. I honestly have never read Armor Wars, but also I don't care about War Machine that much.
Armor Wars was big when it was out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Armor Wars was huge.
Yeah, and it's like the whole thing about Tony Stark is people are always stealing his tech, and that was like the ultimate stealing his tech thing. They were reconfiguring it, using it against them, and all this stuff, and it was a big thing. So I don't know. It could be really cool, especially with Rhodey leading the charge there, and I wonder if it'll bring him back in Hammer and different things like that.
I would think so. I would think so, because that's obviously where the series came from. So the Hammer was in there. So I would think that they would use probably maybe everything from the comic, like at least the plot wise, but instead of having Tony, you're having War Machine in the whole deal. Right. I think that's cool. Think about some of the special effects you could use in that, the tech and the armor and all that, all the other robots and stuff. I think that series has some really good potential. I think that's awesome. I'm excited for that.
So going into the next thing, which is also Iron related, Ironheart is getting a show, which is, it's cool to see a lot of these characters that were kind of revealed and announced at the same time, or introduced in comics at the same time, are getting shows, because Ironheart and Naomi were kind of similar times. I guess I was gonna say Miss Marvel and Kate, but that's not true. I'm trying to see if there's anyone close to Miss Marvel that is getting a show. But Ironheart and Naomi, they're kind of close together. But going back to it with Ironheart, I like the character. And it's so weird to say, like, I like the character when Brian Michael Bendis wasn't writing it. Like, I know he created the character, but I think, other people did a better job with her. I'm surprised that they're not doing anything with the daughter, though. And they're doing, I think it would be kind of interesting if they do an Ironheart show, but the daughter, like, appears somehow.
What do you mean?
The daughter, like, if it's like a future story, maybe it's not in this timeline. Like, if the daughter somehow is like a supporting cast member, not as the young girl, but maybe like she's older somehow. Because the daughter is supposed to appear in Endgame as a person from that show, 13 Reasons Why, and they cut the scene. So I think it'd be kind of interesting if they do something there.
Gotcha. I was trying to figure out which daughter you were talking about, and I was confused.
Iron Man's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that would be cool. But I just love that she's getting a show, and I know we're getting some content. But I like Ironheart too, and I liked her better once Bendis wasn't writing her as well. And I think it's just a really cool idea that somebody created their own suit, because they could and they wanted to help people.
Yeah.
Based on that technology, and that's a really cool concept. And
will be.
I think she's.
Yeah, why aren't they crossing over, or would they? Oh, did Brant pause?
Oh yeah, I think he did. Just like that, like he was just in the middle of conversation. Well, I think I'm feeling a little bit lukewarm to Riri Williams myself. I don't know. It's not like Kat when she said the Armor Wars thing.
You know what?
Now you could just say, "Oh my God, Mike, you're just so old." I think Riri will be pretty cool. Especially getting a new generation of heroes in there, I think is a good idea. Get people excited about that character. Yeah, if you own her book, if you own her first appearance that Brian Michael Bendis did in Iron Man, that you're probably going to be pretty lucky because that book is going to jump in price right away. And I think Will said, I grabbed a lot of Ironheart key books for $3 a piece over the summer. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And, and then you got Champions books and all that other stuff. But like I said, I think it'll be a great hero to introduce for the next generation. And if we ever get movies back, if she takes off, then she could show up in a movie one day too.
Yeah.
I think that's like kind of the big thing. Because we can even talk about Captain Marvel was, do we even have that down on here? But I guess we could talk about it. Oh yeah, we do. Captain Marvel 2, obviously it was announced, and we already knew Captain Marvel 2 was going to happen, but Miss Marvel is going to be in it. So I think it already kind of shows that we're going to have these TV shows are going to kind of tie into the movies.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I love that too. That's the way it should be.
Oh, for sure. And that was the big move. Okay. Yeah. Welcome. That was definitely the big move for Marvel TV. It's kind of sad because we didn't get to see, sorry, I was reading a comment. We didn't get to see that with like Runaways and stuff like that, but it's nice that they're making, I guess, it happen now. We did have a question from Sweet Exorcist. I'm interested in your thoughts on Kate Bishop and She-Hulk casting. We have talked about the She-Hulk casting in the past, and I think they just kind of reconfirmed it. Kate Bishop is officially announced to be Haley
Steinfeld. Yeah.
Steinfeld. Okay. And that's cool. She plays Spider-Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse, and I love her there. And I think she's a good actress, so I'm very excited for her as Kate. And those set pictures look very interesting.
Yeah, she was really good in Bumblebee as well.
I've heard good stuff about that.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen Bumblebee.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I hate to tell you, I own the movie too. I haven't even watched it. It's like when I bought those movies on sale at Target or whatever, but then I just stick them in the cabinet. I'm like, I'll watch it one day. I haven't watched it yet.
That's all right. It happens.
Jamie or Jaime says, sorry, Mike, I would have to see what Kat and Brant want to see next because the younger crowd will know more on what to look for, especially on comics.
Well, first, thank you. Thank you so much for that. That made my day. But yeah. I'm not gonna correct you either. I'm just gonna let that go.
No,
I just want to let you know, Jamie, that Brant is not the younger crowd. He's just as old as I am.
Not quite, but almost. Yeah.
What are you, 42?
2 years younger.
Oh, 43.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see? Yeah, he's the same age as me.
I am probably the younger crowd, but
Yeah.
But thank you so much for saying that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
you didn't know, but Brant's actually
Clean living.
26. He's 26.
Yeah, 26.
We are all young at heart. I mean, in all reality, like, Kat is the youngest one here, but we're all very open to new ideas, and we very much have an open book when it comes to comics. We're not set on the old ways. Yes, we have our favorites because we all do in comics, and in general, when you're introduced to comics for the first time, it's maybe when you were younger or the first stories you ever read. Those always seem to be the ones that are most exciting because that's what you first started. And those are the ones that you always remember, and you get attached to those. And then when something changes, you're kind of like, oh, well, this one's not as good. But if you leave yourself like have an open mind to things, you never know. It could surprise you. So try not to get stuck in, your old ways or old things. Like, people always, here's the biggest one, right? That everybody can relate to. X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Claremont, how many years did he write that series? So everyone is looking to go back to that because, yes, it was phenomenal. And I don't think there probably will be any writer that will ever write like him again to write the X-Men. But if you get stuck on that, right, you'll never be happy, and you'll never enjoy another X-Men story again, right?
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it goes the opposite way too. It's just that I feel like, younger people should also read older stories and not get stuck in their ways and be like, I only like the modern stuff. And honestly, something that one of the biggest thing that grinds my gears is, and I see this a lot on social media, especially.
Grinds my gears. We're the old ones.
My gears. I'm definitely an old soul. But no, yeah, something that definitely does is like when different generations say compare and say I'm better because of this. We had it better because of this, and I don't love when people do that. I feel like every generation has something. Like, I wouldn't say I'm better than Gen Zers, or I'm better than baby boomers. Like, I think every generation has something different. And I don't like when people compare. Like, I especially for millennials and even Gen Zers, I see so many older groups saying well, they have it so good or whatever. Like, why are they always crying or whatever? But yeah, I think it's just different times, and everyone should respect that.
Yeah, and it's all about perspective too, with all that kind of stuff. And it's not just in comics. I'm a child always. My wife actually said to me yesterday, her reply, I forget what it was about, but she looked at me and said, "That's because you're a child."
Yeah.
So,
my wife says the same thing. My wife says the same thing, Brad. She's just like, oh, so I don't have just 2 kids. I have 3 in this household. Yeah.
I'm trying to read the comments at the same time. I don't think there's some She-Hulk stuff, but
yeah,
we do have a She-Hulk news piece. So let's get into that. Mark Ruffalo is going to be in She-Hulk, which is kind of cool because it shows the TV shows and movies, like we're saying, are kind of blending together.
It kind of needs to be, though, right? It's kind of important that he's in there.
Origin story doesn't go right if he's not in it.
Exactly.
Right.
Transferred that blood. I don't know, the guy in the shadows.
Yeah. It's just like when Nick Fury appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in those early episodes. I love tying that all together. It makes it more connected for the fans.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I agree. He's very important to her story. So yeah.
I mean, I'm also curious if it's going to be an origin story, but I'm sure it will be. So going into, because I want to save the trailers for last, Nick Fury's getting a show, which I think we knew he was getting a show. We just didn't know what it was, but it's going to be related to Secret Invasion. This is interesting because I thought they would save this title for a movie. So I thought it was interesting that they're doing a big movie, Infinity War.
Secret Invasion? Yeah.
Yeah. So surprised by that.
I'm excited for that too, though.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited for it, but I'm like you, Kat. When the scrolls came into Captain Marvel, I'm like, oh, they're planting seeds for this already. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a movie, but I don't know. It may work better as a show, especially when you're introducing all these other shows and characters that you could expand it more than you could in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. I mean, who knows, guys? Like, obviously, the movies are suffering. So it's, I think Disney maybe analyzed a lot of things and said, you know what? Why don't we put our eggs in Disney Plus and get people what they want? We can take our time making things. We can extend the shows longer. It doesn't cost as much in the budget because it's on the streaming service instead of in the big movie screens. Like, I don't know. And they're looking for more. Like, Disney Plus needs to deliver, right? Because they haven't really come out with a ton of new stuff since it's been released. And this gets people excited. This gets the subscriptions that they're looking for. And it's continuous money in their pocket where, a movie, it makes a lot of money when it's released, but then eventually that money, kind of stops. So it's just like, why not do it on a streaming service and we get that monthly income every single month?
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Before we get into the trailers, we got one of the other big news pieces, I think we all saw coming, but the Fantastic Four is going to join the MCU. They're going to get their own movie.
Yes.
If it's not Jessica Alba and Chris Evans, who the hell can it be?
Well, it can't
there we
Chris
go.
Evans.
Talk about stuck in your old ways.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, I'm very excited to see what this is going to be about. And I'm sure they'll be better than Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. But how can you beat them? How?
Chris Evans was a pretty phenomenal Human Torch, if you ask me. But
I agree.
They would see him and be like, "Captain, what are you doing?" It would not make sense.
World.
Yeah.
It was an Elf story for sure.
I just
will be like, hey, I don't even know what she would do. Like, she'd hang out. And
Jessica Alba was just eye candy for that movie, man.
That's all we needed, though. That's all we needed.
Yeah, I was just like
dances all through it. That's what she does now. And makeup tutorials.
She was in good stuff, though. Like, I remember that that Dark Angel TV show was pretty good.
Oh, I love that show. That's like one of my
if you look
favorite
back
shows.
at it, though, it's not great. Like, but it was good for its time. Like, she's like very like the language of that show is not great, but like she was good in it. She's like a good action star.
Yeah, she is, and I really liked her in Into the Blue with Paul Walker, the shark movie.
Into the Blue. Oh my God, yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
I've been a fan of Jessica Alba since the Flipper TV show, so I really like her.
I've been a fan of Jessica Alba since Secret World of Alex Mack.
Yeah. So anyway, my point is, I like her, but she wasn't the best Sue Storm in the world. But
Mount Kim says Jessica Alba in Sin City.
Yeah,
there you go.
I feel like in those movies, she's just like good at being hot, and that's about it.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay for me.
The very purpose of her character in that movie. Yes,
and that is okay. It worked.
Nancy, that was her name.
Same for Chris Evans, though. That's what he did in those movies too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Whatever. I like those movies. They're not great. They're definitely better than the reboot. But I'm excited for another Fantastic Four. Now, getting into the bigger news here.
I want to say something about Fantastic Four. Yeah,
I was going to say, unless we have more Fantastic Four stuff. I realized we didn't actually talk about it.
Yeah, the only thing I really want to say is this was the missing piece. This and X-Men were the missing pieces from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I love that we're finally starting to wrap those into it. So, yeah.
I'm so curious what they're going to do with Fantastic Four on what's going to be different. Like, what's going to be different about that series? Like, do we get a different villain? Do you want to see Doom again?
No.
Yeah, exactly. No more Doom. He's in every flipping movie. He needs to not be in this one.
Yeah.
So, and do you want to see?
They're gonna fight Mole Man, right? That's
Mole Man. That'd be hilarious. Do you want to see another origin story with these characters?
No. I want to see honestly, I want to see Sue and Reed find out she's pregnant. I think that would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Do a backdoor thing, have them appear at the end of something, and then we can just recap their origin at the beginning of the movie, and then go into an actual story, which would be good.
So maybe we could see an Galactus.
Yeah,
cosmic threat.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right?
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
not a cloud. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want to see the cloud.
No.
But you could get Galactus, and maybe he shows up at the end of the movie, and then somehow that ties into the other Marvel characters to help out, and maybe in a future movie or something.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
That would be a good tie-in. And when it comes to X-Men, I don't even know what you do with that. Do you keep them? Do you interact with the Marvel heroes? Do you do an Avengers vs. X-Men? What do you do with that?
Krakoa.
Mm-hmm.
That would be weird.
Well, it'd be interesting.
That would be weird.
Jessica Alba should be in Krakoa.
Yeah, there you go.
Jessica Alba is Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
Jessica Alba is Dazzler.
There you go.
Dazzler.
Dazzler. Hey, TikTok videos.
A TikToker. Somehow.
Yeah. So the Avengers could crash land on Krakoa, and then they find all these mutants. It's oh no, that's how you introduce them.
I just want to see a rated R Krakoa X-Men movie. That's what I'm hoping for.
You just want to see the summer house.
The first scene you kick off with the X-Men movie. Yeah, the first scene you kick off with the X-Men movie is the three of them together. You imagine that?
Hell yeah, let's see it.
And Cyclops? Oh, we're gonna gender bend Cyclops. Okay.
Shows up. Someone mentioned Jessica Alba as Cyclops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica Alba should play everybody. Haven't we already talked about this?
Who could play Emma Frost?
Who could play Jessica Alba? Emma Frost.
Not January Jones. But
no. Who should play Emma Frost? Someone just I don't know.
That's tough.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Someone's gonna have some sass. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the hard thing. The sass.
Emma Stone. No, but she's doesn't have the Emma Frost.
Yeah, she's quirky.
Two Girl Next Door. I'm trying to think of someone who's a
little more ballsy.
Yeah, a little ballsy. I really want to think about this one. Who's a good actress?
Let's ask the viewer. Let's ask the viewers. Viewers, give us some ideas who you like to play Emma Frost.
Yeah, let us know.
There's one in there already. Claire Holt as Emma Frost.
She's also too. She was the one from the Vampire Diaries. I feel like she's just too small.
Yeah.
You want somebody not that she wouldn't be on I would say Vogue, but not Vogue, but a model type looking person.
Right. Yeah. Well, here it says Gore says Emma Frost must be sexy, so the character obviously has got to be sexy.
Someone who's very, very sexy, because that's Emma Frost. So, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Cersei. No, Cersei. She's a little too old to play Emma, I would think.
I don't know what she looks like, so let me see.
Yeah,
Game
you
of
do.
Thrones. Let me see.
It's what's her name? Lena Headey. Lena Headey.
No, she's Nicole Kidman. Why are we picking 50-year-old?
Oh,
women?
she's too old.
Come on,
guys, gotta be better than this. There has to be Angelina Jolie is also 50 years old. Emma Frost.
But she's also playing. She's already in the Internals.
That too, so we can't.
Yeah.
Who's Anna Taylor-Joy? Someone he keeps saying.
Oh, I know her.
She also.
She was in what was that show? It was on the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or something. It was.
She would play a really good Emma Frost. It seems like. Also, the one from
unless I'm thinking of somebody else.
Killing Eve, the person who won the Emmy, the one who plays Villanelle from Killing Eve would be a really good Emma Frost.
Oh,
Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is Emma Frost. Yes. Love that. That'd be so awesome. Anyways, we've been talking about Emma Frost. Oh, Charlize Theron?
Yeah,
She's awesome.
actually, she could.
Is she in something already? She's not in Marvel.
No.
Dude,
She
that'd be
could,
really
though.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
I like that
somebody
a
else.
lot. So,
Oh,
you weren't thinking of that?
No, Anna Taylor-Joy is Ileana in the New Mutants movie.
Oh,
Oh.
then probably not. Cara Delevingne? No, I don't want to see her shaking her hips as Emma Frost. Margot Robbie would definitely be good. Margot Robbie is a good choice. Yeah, let's go with Margot Robbie, even though she plays as Harley Quinn, but she could be Emma as well.
Yeah, she can change over. It's fine.
All right, let's get into some of these trailers because we're all for Margot Robbie. I don't know which one we should start with. Let's do the What If trailer. I was already looking forward to this show because it really could do anything. You know, it's animated. We already saw that, what's her name? Peggy is going to be Captain America. So I'm excited for this one. Also, it's going to be probably only 20 minutes each, which is always nice.
Yeah, what impressed me about this was the animation in it. I thought it looked phenomenal. And like you said, the sky's the limit because it's an animated show, so you can do whatever you want with this. I'm really excited about this. They advertised the Watcher on here, like you got to see him doing the narration through the trailer, which I thought was really cool. It just kind of reminds you of the comic books a little bit. I'm really excited. This looks really good.
Brant has not seen the trailers, so if you have any, he has seen the Miss Marvel trailers. We'll talk about that though.
What are you gonna say? Talking What If, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The animation that I did see looked really cool. It was a different style than I thought it would be. So yeah, that's all.
Next is we'll talk about Miss Marvel. It wasn't really a trailer; it was kind of like a first look. We had some little bits and pieces. Stoked, so freaking excited for this. I am, a huge Miss Marvel fan, and what I'm really happy about is that it looks very, very direct to the comics. Like that looks like the first issue. So very excited for this show.
I think the first issues will. I think it will definitely play into. Right, at least the beginning anyway, will kind of tie into that first story arc. And then whether it veers off from there, it's still obviously yet to be determined. But I'm really excited about this too. I love how they got an actress that just doesn't have any experience, and you got to see how excited she was when she got the part. And it's just, it's awesome, man. I think hopefully this show does do well. People give it a chance. And again, it's going to the big screen as well, so awesome. So happy for the actress.
Yeah, I love that she had Captain Marvel posters on her wall too. So it just feeds into that whole thing where she's a big Captain Marvel fan. And I'm curious to see how they're going to handle, like, if she goes through Terrigenesis or they go a different route with that, or
right.
Yeah, that's true. I'm curious about if they'll connect it to Inhumans because her story feels not connected to Inhumans.
Yeah.
Also curious about her supporting cast. Like we saw Bruno in the trailer, but I would love to see Nakia. I love Zoe. I would really like to see her. I think what's his name? Josh has a really interesting arc with becoming like a villain, sort of. Mike's a cool character, so I'd really like to see her supporting cast because I think it's a really nice, diverse cast.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, going into Loki, and I think out of all these trailers, that was the most lukewarm of them all for me.
I agree with you 100%.
Right? It was okay. I'm not a huge Loki fan, and I felt like a lot of it was like repeated. Not a lot of it, but the beginning was repeated footage already.
I didn't see this one. I know a lot of people are fans of Loki though, so
I love their Loki.
Yeah. I like Loki, but I just don't know. Like the show didn't look interesting to me for some reason. Like I saw the trailer and I wasn't impressed. I didn't get that wow factor for me. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this one. I could be wrong. If I try it, I could like it, but there was nothing there. It just, I don't know. It seemed kind of boring.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'll definitely give the first episode a try, but I don't know if that's one I'll be sticking with. Next up is Winter Soldier and Falcon, which I'm definitely interested in. I think that dynamic is going to be cool. Trailer looked cool, and it's interesting to see how they're going to piggyback off of Endgame.
Yeah, I saw some. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Brent. Go ahead. No, you go.
I saw some of the action from it. That's all I really got to see of that one. But the action looked really cool, and both of them together, I think it's going to be cool. I don't know anything about the story, so I'll have to watch it later.
I don't think it really revealed much of the story, honestly.
Okay.
It didn't have too much.
Winter Soldier and Falcon, is that what you're talking about? I was reading comics.
Yeah.
It didn't really reveal a lot of the plot. It showed a lot of them two interacting with each other, and I think that's what makes it interesting, right? It's like a partner in crime type of thing. It's like a superhero show, I guess, but it's like, I don't know. It seems like a little bit comedic with a lot of action, and special effect wise, it looked amazing because it showed a lot of like Falcon just like flying and stuff. And so I like when he uses the wings and all that stuff. So I think this could have good potential also. I'm excited for this one.
I also like because Captain America and Falcon are have a historical friendship and partnership, and since they can't do that, I like that they're partnering Winter Soldier with Falcon, the two future possible Captain Americas. Yeah,
I gotta go back and look at that comic when Falcon did hold the shield, and remember when he was Captain America in Marvel Now? Like I gotta look back and see what the value of is in that comic, because I definitely have that book.
Yeah.
So next up is WandaVision. Well, actually, that's the last news piece, and I was really impressed with this trailer. I love trippy stuff, so this looks very trippy and up my alley, and I was already excited for this. So this is going to be in the next few weeks. It's premiering.
Yeah, WandaVision looks like it's going to be cool. I want to see how this plot, like, how this whole thing happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, Vision was still dead at the end of Endgame, right? Like, he never came back alive because he's an android and he needed the stone to be alive, right? So I'm curious to see, obviously, if this is like manifested in Scarlet Witch's mind, or I don't know. It's just, what's that?
I was gonna say but I was waiting until you finished the
Oh no, that was kind of like I couldn't really think of anything else to say, but I was just like, I'm just really curious how this whole thing starts, like where the plot begins.
Yeah, and unless they go into her chaos magic powers where she can create things out of nothing and she recreates them or something, or creates this pocket world, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's going to be interesting to see. And this is the one that I've been most excited about since they first announced it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks super cool, and I'm just excited that they're getting more of the spotlight. But somehow we went through all these news pieces, and we're gonna get into some comics.
Let's do it.
All right, that's crazy how we actually got through everything.
Yeah, there's so much. We went through a lot of stuff. So.
All right, let me switch over the dock here. Get ready for the big books this week. So, all right. So, guys, just a reminder before we get started. We have the spoilers, as Brant always forgets to show the spoiler thing up there, right? So we're going to be talking about spoilers. So if there's certain books that we talk about and you don't want to hear, just mute your computer, give it a couple of minutes, and we'll move on. But if you don't mind the spoilers, then just keep watching. All right. So we're going to start off with Under the Radar. Then we'll go into big books, and we'll mix in our top 5 in between there. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this part of the show. And we started off with Under the Radar, right? And Kat, what was yours?
Mine was American Vampire, 1976, issue 3. Good stuff. It's a little bit of a slower chapter, but I really like Pearl and Skinner, who are kind of the main characters of the book, and we get some good interaction with them. And then the cliffhanger of the issue, they actually reveal the original American vampire, so they're going to go up against her. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Sweet.
What do you got, Brant? What was yours?
Mine is Penultimate number 3. This is from Ahoy Comics. And I've really been enjoying this series. It's interesting. It's a Superman character that has been sent. He's kind of been exiled from his time, so he's been sent back in time to be the hero of our society. But he has this android that kind of took over for him while he was gone, because he went back to his time to figure something out, and he did things 10 times better than he could do himself. And so now that he's back, he's screwing everything up. So in this issue, he tried to read this book on power positivity because he secretly hates himself, and he's trying to go out there and do the right thing, and he just ends up making things worse. By the end of the issue, the robot's like, "You're screwing everything up. I don't trust your state of mind, so I'm taking over now," and locks him up. And so now the android is taking over completely. So
geez, that's funny.
It's a fun series if you guys haven't checked it out.
I haven't even heard of it, so that
me
cool.
either.
Yeah.
That's cool. Glad you liked it. How many issues is it?
I don't know. I don't remember if it's a mini-series. Let me look up.
I feel like Ahoy, they usually do volumes.
Volumes, yeah.
They just had what is it called? Super whatever. That's Superman second. Okay,
5.
so 5 issues. The second comic book they had. Thank you. They had the first volume, and the second volume's coming out tomorrow. So,
yeah.
All right, and so under the radar for me this week, it was Year Zero, Volume 2, Issue 2. This book is always good. I love seeing people on how they deal with the zombie apocalypse, and in this volume, it's a different set of people. And what's cool about it is that the apocalypse has already happened, and they're dealing with it in a different way. And it's kind of cool because one of the characters this time around is a girl that is trapped in her grocery store that she worked in when the whole thing started, and she's pregnant and she doesn't want to leave. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. And you saw the story on how she got pregnant, obviously. Then you got this this Colombian warlord on he's the last guy, and he's took over everything, and you get to see his little story. Then there's this fisherman boat where it's in the middle of the ocean, and they gotta stop people from overtaking their boat. It's just a really interesting story. I love seeing this take on how people deal with this situation. So great artwork too. This is one of the stories where the artwork, you can tell what's going on. It's not so dark and gritty where it's just what's happening, so I like this series. It's pretty cool. So that's my under the radar. All right, so let's move forward now. Let's talk about big books. And one of the big books that came out this week was Sword issue 1. Kat, did you read this or did you pass on it?
No, I passed on it. I didn't like any of the characters.
All right. Brant, did you read this one, right?
I did read this one.
Yeah. Okay. I read it too.
To hear if I should have read it or not.
And I disliked it.
Okay. So didn't miss anything.
Yeah. For me, I felt like it was a chore to get through. It was like Magneto on the Sword Station on what's called the Peak, going and meeting all the entire crew, and it was a bore fest. I just was I don't find any of the characters. There's a lot of different characters that I don't find myself really familiar with, and it was just boring, and I didn't care, and I don't think I'm gonna drop it because I feel like maybe the next issue might really kick off the story. But I actually got 3/4 way through and I just stopped reading it. Wow. He said Sword was so amazing. Best book since House of X issue 1. Serenity's like that. He tends to like a lot of things that we don't like. It happens a lot.
Opinions usually.
I'm actually
Especially
surprised when we agree on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, Kat? I'm sorry.
I was saying, especially the X-Men, I feel like we're always on different playing fields with.
So I didn't like it. And I thought the artwork was a little off too. I just Magneto's face looked weird and just I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan, but I'm still gonna read the next issue. I'm gonna really give it an honest try. I don't want to just drop it after the first issue.
Speaking of Scarlet Witch, there was a little dig at her in this issue. Magneto's like,
yes. Yeah.
Magneto's like, the Pretender. Okay. I was afraid I was going to be alone, but I was completely bored by this book. It was like you said, it was a chore to get through. It was, I don't know what it was. And like the action didn't really pick up till the end. And then it was like, okay, they've gone beyond something to grab some kind of pyramid. Now that's supposed to mean something. I don't know what that means. It was there. And it was basically a very long-winded introduction to both the station and every character in it and why they were there and why Magneto was there and why they're connected to the X-Men. And this is like reading those white pages.
Yeah. There was just nothing there that excited me or just hooked me to get me to buy the next issue. Now, like I said, I'm going to buy the next issue, but when I have a book that I get 3/4 through, I just felt like it didn't need to be as long as it needed to be. Like they that they did with it. Like it just didn't need to be however many pages it was. I was just like, dude, how long is this going on for? Like, come on. And this was one of the first. It's not like I read 25 books and I read this as my last book. Right. This was one of the first books that I read of the day. And so I was just like, and I just could not get through it. I was like, nope.
I feel the same way about it. It's like, I did the same thing. I got like maybe 8 pages in and I thought I was like at least halfway through or a little over halfway through. And then I was like, oh crap, I still got a lot of this to go. Oh no.
That's definitely not a good sign of a good comic. Well, at least in your, everything's bad or good, whatever, in your subjective opinion.
Yeah.
An enjoyable comic. I didn't want to say, it's a bad comic.
It's not a bad book. It's not a bad book. It's just a book that I just couldn't get into. Now, if you like going into the whole rundown of what the peak is and all those characters and you want to dive into all that, then hey, that's great for you. But if you're not into all that, if you didn't feel like that all was all necessary for you, then then have at it as well. It's just one of those books that I think for the story to really kick off, it's going to take a couple issues.
Yeah, for me, I would have been more pulled in if it had started in the middle of something rather than that whole introduction thing, which took 3/4 of the issue.
Right. Okay, cool. So that's our thoughts on Sword. For the people in the comments that liked it, that's great that you guys liked it. That's what we want, man. We want people to buy these books. We want people to like them, right? So
enjoy whatever you'd like. It
shows you that there's something out there for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about a cool book that I think that we all enjoyed. This one was Death Metal: Last Stories of the DC Universe, issue 1. So this book was quite interesting. It had a lot of little short stories, obviously, but all tied into what the main story really was, right? And so I think the big thing is about this book that you could have a question mark on, is this stuff going to tie into Future State or when Future State is over? Because there's a lot of things here that were dropped. And if you did not read this issue, you're missing out on a lot of stuff, because one of the things in here was like Sinestro, he becomes a Green Lantern again, right? you wind up seeing Green Arrow and Dinah. They have their daughter, right? So you get to see that. You wind up seeing Wally, right? He comes back.
Yeah, he joins,
and
I guess, the Teen Titans.
Yeah, he kind of joins the Teen Titans. This was a real Teen Titans centric issue. So it's really about all the Titans fighting together to stop basically the end of the Earth, because obviously Batman Who Laughs and Perpetua was coming, and they're getting ready to destroy the Earth. And really, all these wonderful things happened in this book, and you're kind of going to left hanging, going, okay, is this going to continue forward, or is this going to be just, they're not even going to talk about it going forward because it's the end of the Earth? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the thing you're kind of left wondering. The cool thing, the one other cool thing about this story was Barbara and Dick.
Yeah.
That was cool, right? I mean, they wound up getting married.
It was interesting. I felt like the buildup kind of came out of nowhere. It's like,
well,
the romance wasn't even like, we haven't seen them talk about it in a really long time. So it's just like, oh, okay. But at the same time, it's not like they wanted to get married. They're just like, well, the world's ended, you know.
Actually, in Nightwing, they addressed it a little bit. He was starting.
I haven't read Nightwing. So.
Yeah, he was starting to flirt with her, and she was like, "Don't you have B? You know, we can't. Don't go there with me. You know, you still got that life." And then, you know, that kind of blew up on him. But yeah, so it was mentioned at the very least, but I don't know if they've addressed it in Dark Knight's Death Metal.
I don't think they have. But one of the other interesting things is very much leading to that she's going to be paralyzed again.
Yeah.
We've seen notes of that in previous stories, and it looks like they're definitely going with that again. But yeah, the one thing I really enjoyed about this is like every story felt important. And that's why I told you guys, I read it because I had an assignment for work. So I was like, okay, I'll read it. And I did not expect every story to have such big things to happen. I'm like, you guys have to read this. Like if this wasn't Disney Week, we would have definitely had a title about something that happened here, because you have Sinestro Green Lantern again, like the Green Arrow kid. You have Roy Harper coming back to life. Like there's so much.
That was funny.
A lot. It was good too. Like the only three stories I would say I didn't love, but they weren't bad by any means. I would say the Wonder Woman story, because I haven't been really reading Death Metal. Aquaman, because nothing really happened. Yeah, and then Superman, I feel like nothing really happened. But everything else was really, really good.
Superman, it was all about the heart, though. It was like, you know, I can finally be everywhere at once. So that was cool, even if it wasn't the best story. And the Aquaman one, just because it was all about his daughter and providing a future for her, I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, those were the
I want to answer Sweet's question. Didn't the DC's Last Stories release last week? Sweet, you watch our show every week. We always talk about last week's books. We don't talk about the DC books that come out today because none of us have read them yet. So we talk about that the next week. Because technically, in our minds, the way we do this show, DC books come out on Wednesday. Because we're going to the store on Wednesday. We're not buying them on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah. But overall, this was a great book. I love all these stories. Again, will any of this still be true by the time, Future State is over? I would like to see some of that. I mean,
I think so.
It's just still yet to be determined. It's very easy for them to be like, oh, all this happened, but the Earth is destroyed, so it's wiped away. And that really could happen. It could all be retconned and it could be done, and nothing ever happens.
From what we're seeing now, I think it's just going. Well, we had the Crime Syndicate book that was announced, and it said, "Oh, we're going to get more multiverses." So I think it's just going to be like we'll have some multiverses around. I don't think anything's going to be erased. I really do think at least one or two of these plot points, probably at least the Barbara Gordon one, is going to be explored in future stories. And that's what was so exciting about this. I have not really read an anthology where so much happens in one issue.
Yeah, that was a good book. I mean, that really was it. I think it really tied at the heartstrings a lot. Really emotional, and for all these characters. And for, we talked about it last week when it came to Teen Titans, how we all enjoy Teen Titans, how we all dealt with our generation of Teen Titans. They were all there in that book, like every single one of them at one point in time. And I thought that was really cool to see all of them.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it And also, you don't have to read death metal. That was actually really cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Read the standalone, not read any death metal stories.
Right. All right. So let's move on to the top 5. My books are right over here, so let me get them. And I'll start off with Brant. Brant, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Red Mother, number 11.
Mine too.
Penultimate, we found out. Very sad.
Yeah.
But man, it was crazy how they all stabbed their eyes out and everything, and
they're cool with it too.
Yeah, it's coming to a head now. I love the way that she was kind of tricked into a party where it's like this party favor thing where she has to solve this puzzle, and then she finds herself in front of everybody she knows, and it's like, yeah, things aren't as they seem. Yeah,
what a horrible party.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
this was my number. This was my number 5 also.
Wow.
So all 3 of us, this is our number 5. That's great. That's like never happened on a number 5, I think.
I thought I agree with you guys, and I think getting to the end of this like journey for her, like as she finally enters like whatever that door she went through, and she's seeing, I guess, the Red Mother or whatever that whatever it is, it's just like, it's kind of like you've been through that journey with her, and you're finally reaching that point with her. Just awesome issue, man. It's so good.
It's really satisfying, but I think that's kind of hard with the penultimate issue, and I hope the finale is satisfying. But pacing's been great. Good book, good ending, good stuff.
Fantastic. If you have not tried it, get the trades when they come out.
Absolutely. All right, so that made number 5 super easy. So let's talk about Avengers issue 39. Brant and I read this book. This is the prelude to like the whole Enter the Phoenix Force deal, as the Phoenix Force is going to be looking for a new host. And I actually like this book. I actually really enjoyed it because it has to deal with I guess the early years of like a version of Jean Grey, as she was a baby, and how the Phoenix Force, I guess, possessed her, and how she was raised with wolves, and it was like that version of Professor Xavier and all his strange cast of characters, and how he protected them. Yeah, it was very, very, very similar to what goes on in the modern days. And I thought it was kind of cool. And then you see her at the end go to Thor or Odin and asking for help. And then that was obviously where you got to where I guess you read the Avengers, the like old school Avengers from like BC or whatever it was. So that's where it ended up as, I guess, and then you're going to go into the main book. But I just enjoyed the story. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it could have been stronger as a lead in to trying to get people to jump back into Avengers, maybe.
I agree.
Yeah, but I did, like you, I enjoyed the history of the character and where the Phoenix Force came into play on Earth, at least. And it was kind of, you get the Jungle Book vibe, the Raised by Wolves and all that kind of thing. And I thought the Professor X type character was really interesting too. That as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh wow, there's it's the X-Men before the X-Men and all these different characters. But then they're all wiped out and everything, and all that's left is Phoenix, and it's ties in very well to what Jean Grey has gone through and stuff, and she looks very similar to Jean Grey. So it's it was interesting. I wish it had been a little bit stronger lead in as well.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and for that reason, that's why it wasn't in my top 5. Right. I mean, I enjoyed the read, but it just didn't hit that bar for me because I thought it would tie into more of the modern day stuff than going so far back. But I could see what they did there to get people to know how long or how far or how I guess how old the Phoenix Force or Phoenix actually is. Like it's been around for millennia. So
we have a
so
Gonzo Axe. Do you think it's going to be a spec value?
this particular book?
I guess so. I think they're talking about Avengers.
No, I don't think so. Not at all. There's nothing there to give it that spec value just because it's like an old Jean Grey, like, you know, a girl that's very similar to her. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and it's not her first appearance either. Like,
Yeah.
So.
Because Jason Aaron's been doing these BC Avengers for a long time now. All right, so that's that. That's the Avengers. So let's talk about a really a book. I don't know how many people were talking about this week, but Homesick Pilots issue 1. This one's done by Image Comics. And let me just tell you, I love this book. I thought this book was so good. I just loved the whole punk rock vibe, you know, trying to go against the rival band type of thing. And this reminded me so much of high school when I was a kid. And I love how this girl just was like, oh, I'm going to check out this house, and it has all these rumors in it, and it's haunted, and then she winds up getting possessed by this house, and I just thought it was kind of cool. I love the way the art was. I love the colors, the tone of the book, and just everything about it was kind of cool. So what did you guys think about this? I love the cliffhanger too.
I was a little bit in the middle ground for this. I was super excited for the book because of that coloring. The coloring was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like the concept, and I definitely will get issue 2. It wasn't
yeah,
issue, but it was just like kind of in the middle for me. Because I didn't really like any of the characters. There wasn't anyone that really spoke to me. Like, I feel like they were all kind of flat. Even the main girl, I didn't feel like they had a voice besides that they liked punk rock. Like, they all kind of felt the same to me. So I hope as the series goes on, they get a little bit more personality. The concept is super rich, and that definitely gives me enough for issue 2. And again, the art is out of this world. But yeah, the characters weren't great for me.
I can understand that. I did like it as well. I'm probably in between you and Mike. So the art I really liked, and I love the layouts and things like that. One of my panels was this week was that house where you have the characters coming in from both levels of the meeting.
Yes.
I thought that was brilliant artistically. I love that. And the cliffhanger, like you said, Mike, I like that, and I want to see where that goes. But yeah, I can understand that too, Gat, though. But as far as first issues go, I mean, it definitely hooked me to get the second one. So
yeah,
it did its job.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I really did enjoy it. I just had a really fun time with it. I like the interaction between the characters when they were, you know, with the bands. And then there's that one scene when the house started freaking out, and it, like, the lead singer rival band guy gets his head decapitated from the pipes. I thought that was like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But I want to see more of that type of stuff. You know, because. And then wasn't the house like walking like a mech? So isn't that like when they were talking about how it meets The Shining in Power Rangers?
I think so.
Because in the beginning you see the house, it's like a robot, and then you get to see, like, in one scene you get to see blood spilling out of the doors, like in The Shining. Yeah. So that's how they say that it could be that those two meet each other there. So. Yeah, character development will be a key factor with this book going forward, even for me too. Like, just because I really love the first issue doesn't mean that I'll love the second issue if they don't develop those characters any more than what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's go on to our number 4. Kat, what's your number 4 this week?
Mine is 7 Secrets issue.
Mine too.
Oh my God. Me and Chris might have the same top 5. This was good. I don't think it was the best issue out of all of them, but that's saying something, because I've literally loved every single issue.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is in my top 5. It was a very action-heavy issue, but the action was really freaking good. You have a lot of people die in this issue. I like the save in this issue as well. So overall, well done action issue. I enjoyed it, but didn't quite make the top 3 level this time around.
Yeah, I love the mother skirting the issue that she, that's her son, Amon, and
Yeah.
and how he's captive, and he's having to watch all this unfold now. But their whole secret hideout, it's not built to withstand the army that's coming for them. So that's going to be really interesting, seeing them try to defend it. And now they've gathered all the secrets in one place, and it's like, oh no, you possibly destroyed the world now. So it's leading up to a really cool next issue for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed this. I love the treachery, the mole that's somewhere in that group that spilled the beans to tell them where their secret hideout is. Like that's insane. And just same thing, like all the action that happened in this issue was awesome. That the base compromised, like it's been there forever. So it's just like they never thought they would get discovered. But yeah, really great stuff. I love this book so much, man. I'm really curious to see who do you think could be the mole in this?
I think it would be that bully guy.
The Titus? But see that I think that might be obvious that it's him.
I wonder if it's the main guy.
Oh, Casper?
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name, but that would be an interesting.
Oh man,
really interesting. Yeah, I would hope to see that. This series has been very twisty in a good way.
Yeah.
I like. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's just so much mysteries. It's so secretive, like it's driving me crazy.
Yeah, I know, and it's like I want to know what the secrets are, but at the same time, it's like no, that's part of the mystique of the book.
A lot too, though. They reveal. It doesn't feel like, oh my god, where is this going?
Yeah, I like that one scene where they're like, "This is all you do is just protect." No, we got normal lives. What are you talking? This is our weekend. This is our side gang, our side hustle. That was funny.
Yeah, so great book there. All right, so that was your guys' number 4, right? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mine was Marauders issue 16.
Okay.
I like that. I love that book, man. I just love how Kitty and Emma come crashing in Sebastian Shaw's place, and they just basically torture him, man. I love it. They're like toying with him, playing with him. He gets like he gets, I don't know if he got thrown outside the window or if he tried to. Yeah, he like threw himself out the window, and then he falls on the ground, and then Kitty goes up. He goes, what's his name? Glob?
Glob, yeah, he's just like
nothing to see here.
It's like, hi Glob, bye Glob, and he takes the body back inside. He just runs away.
I know, he's like, oh no. That was hilarious.
What I love the most is when Kitty phases through that door and hits Shaw, and it says Shaw in the punch. I thought that was really freaking good. But yeah, my girls, they're so good in this. Margot Robbie and Kitty Pryde, very good in this issue. And also, it's everything I was building up since Sex of Swords. Like, it's just like, oh, this is happening right now. And then you have that really cool ending, too. Like, what are they going to do with Shaw? Loved it. Such a good book.
I love that they didn't wait. It's like, okay, we're done with that. Now we're dealing with this.
Yeah, let's get back to the story. Everything about that was so good. Like, them throwing away his priceless whiskey into the fireplace, and he's just like, no, you can't do that. It was just, it's so good, man. And they poisoned him.
Yeah, they poisoned him after taking his eye.
After taking his eye, like he taking the eye. Yeah, but then they thought that he was going to be a lot worse off than he was, and he wasn't, though, at the end of the issue.
Yeah. He had a plan.
Yeah.
One of the best pages, though, was that last page, because they're like, oh, shouldn't we know what's happening here with Shaw? And seeing the expressions on all the other characters' faces, some of them were like, no, yes, hell yes. It was just like, it was so funny. I think that was Mystique or something like that. Or
Yeah,
she,
it was.
it was so funny, man. Oh, it's so good. I love this
And
issue.
yeah, Nightcrawler was like, yes. It's like he didn't know what the right answer was. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it was
I missed
awesome.
this book, honestly. It just like kind of, as much as I enjoyed, like I did enjoy X of Swords, but I'm like, I enjoyed this like even more. I'm like, I'm so excited we're back into like the full swing of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move forward now. Let's see. We're going to talk about Venom issue 31. So this is your tie-in book. This is, if there's any tie-in that you're going to want to read, it's going to be Venom. Unfortunately, when it came to Venom, though, this one was a whole book of Eddie Brock falling off the building.
Really?
And he yes,
fall ever.
And he never hits. You don't see him hit. He's about like he's about to hit. Say like my huge ass microphone is like the car, and my hand is him, and he's here at the end of the issue. So you still don't see him hit. But
I was gonna say, even at one point, he like stops the fall, like bounces off a building, and then just starts falling. It's like
he tries to get in a helicopter to break his fall.
Yeah, it's like okay.
So you don't really get too much out of it. The only thing you get is like Dylan is in it, and he's trying to keep tabs of what's going on.
And Tony Stark is kicking him off he's like, get off this frequency, kid.
Yeah.
That's basically what you got. Yeah.
So it's a big stall. Now, I'm not saying that there's nothing that's going to be there, but it's just, it was a stalled out issue because you got nothing resolved out of it.
Yeah. You could have skipped this one easily. Unfortunately, I was hoping that it would be a richer issue, but yeah.
Like they could have did one page with him falling into the ground and then continuing the story.
Yeah. So
I
was a little disappointed by this one.
Yeah. So that's about it. The artwork was really good. Noel was pretty menacing in the book. But yeah, not too much to go off of there. So
right.
All right. And then we talked about Seven Secrets already. So we'll move on to our number 3. And my number 3 this week was Crossover, issue 2.
Okay.
I like that book. I thought it was really good. We get to see kind of like the mission that is going to be beginning. They want to bring this girl back to the dome. God, I'm trying to remember what happened because it was the first book I read. That was like Wednesday.
They thought the whole time she was from the dome, and it turned out she was from a camp, a detention camp.
Oh, because they brought people from there or whatever, and she was from the camps.
And she has those powers that are like animals, pretty much.
Yeah, she's right. Rat, at the end.
Yeah. So she's basically like a mutant, and then Otto is kind of like, no, you don't want to mess with her, man. And then what's the girl's name? Ellie? Is that her name?
I think so. No.
Yeah, and she's like, no, we're gonna do all this and everything. So they're gonna. So basically, you get kind of like the first their whole journey, their first adventure is being set up for you, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I actually liked this story better than the first issue.
See, I was the first. I like the first issue more.
Really?
Yeah, because I like the reveals of the first issue because we didn't know who the characters were, and then we get the reveal of like that guy and girl being together, and then like the way they explained the world was really interesting to me and more like philosophy driven in that first issue. This one I felt like was a little too explainy for me. It was just like this is what the world is.
Yeah, I can understand that. I think the interesting part of this issue, now that I'm retracing my steps and trying to remember, was the boy, because the boy is being chosen to go after these I guess to go to the dome or to eventually go there. He got a like
government thing that he
it's a government thing. He got like this gun to use, that cripples the heroes or the villains or whatever they are. And so basically this is how you're going to see these two meet, because they're both eventually going to go to the place. They're going to end up in the same place. And so that's how you're going to get there. I also like the Easter eggs in this issue too. Like you wind up seeing the jail cell and it has all the heroes in there. Spawn was in there. Like you could clearly see that was Spawn.
Yeah, Batman, The Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And the first page, actually, Brian K. Vaughan is dead.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Fingers missing. That was fun.
Yeah.
I love that. The Runaways guy? Yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. And I love that he got, I don't know, I'm sure he got permission to do all that too. It's just.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought.
Technically, you don't need permission because they are public figures. You're allowed to say whatever you want.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure he did, but like technically you don't need it.
Yeah.
So I like how the government was run and how they like keep tabs of the heroes on how they keep their power levels down and how some of them volunteered to be in that situation. So overall, I like this one a little bit better.
I liked it about the same. I think I like both issues really well, but I love the whole premise of this thing, and that you can play with all these characters that we know that are from other universes in a way that, you know, it's not full on like, oh, Superman's in the book, but Superman, you know, you know, as the reader that, okay, that's Superman, right? So.
And then it's like almost like, oh, the stuff that's in that gun, it's like a kryptonite.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So cool stuff there. All right. So, so we talked about Marauders.
So on number 3, what are we up to?
Yeah,
we're up to so we're going. That was my number 3, and so now we're going to go to Brant for your number 3.
Mine was Last Stories. Dark.
Mine too.
Wow.
Right now.
Oh my God! You guys message each other.
No,
yeah, we might have, honestly.
We're going to disagree on the next one, but it's fine. We that's crazy.
For the next one, because I know you don't read the book. So, but I'll be interested to see if our number 1 is the same, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Crazy though.
All right.
We didn't talk at all about this week's book. I don't think each other at all this big. Yeah. So except Last Stories, because it's like, oh, read it because it's important. Other than that, we didn't talk about this week's books.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about Marauders and we just talked about crossover. So we're going to go on to number 2. So before you guys reveal your number 2 to each other, I'm just going to say mine since I'm completely off the page of you guys. My number 2 was Homesick Pilots.
Oh, nice.
So that was my number 2.
I thought that was going to be your number 1, so that's cool.
So
once
Kat and Brant at the same time. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and you're going to say your books, or hold them up so we can see it.
Right? I'll just say it. I don't have it.
Okay. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Crossover.
Okay. So,
Mighty Morphin. There it is.
Yeah, so that's where it changed. We already got that crossover. We broke it. Damn it. Again, number 1, we'll have to say. But yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Won't talk too much about it, but I enjoyed it. I think they're doing some interesting stuff with the mythology of the new Green Ranger. The Omega Ranger's kind of going AWOL. So that was kind of interesting. Good character-driven issue. So I've been really enjoying the new direction of Mighty Morphin. So
I have not read these yet, but I do have them. I just hadn't. They're like last on the pile because it's Power Rangers. But I'm going to try these because they're the new series.
Yeah, I think you should. And honestly, it's new reader friendly enough. It starts a new story arc, and Ryan's great. As you know, you enjoyed Dead Day and you enjoyed TMNT. So I think it's pretty new reader friendly. But if you have any questions, I'm here.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. All right, so we talked about Red Mother already. So now we're just going to jump on to our number 1. And my number 1 book was 7 Secrets, issue 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love this series. It's so much fun.
Yeah, no, it's such a good book. I didn't say Spider-Man.
Oh, no, it was not Spider-Man. So I have a feeling. Let me see.
Sure.
Kat, your number 1 is Marauders. And Brant, your number one is Marauders.
I think so. I
Yes.
knew it. Oh.
Yes.
So it was only that second one, yeah.
Wow, that's
Crazy.
crazy. That was a crazy. This is the closest I think any of us been to a top 5.
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Who knows? If I read Mighty Morphin, maybe it would have been.
might have been. But then everything probably shifted because crossover was number 3, so nothing would have been the same. So it was good you didn't read Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, yeah. That's
All right, so let's just talk about it real quick. So let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man because obviously
Spider-Man issue 5 as well, the J.J. Abrams one, or you just read Amazing Spider-Man?
I didn't buy that. I could not buy that.
It
that
ended.
book anymore.
Remember how it ended before we go to Spider-Man?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Mary Jane comes back. She's a robot. And then Peter dies. And then Mary Jane becomes a spider person with her son. It was so bad.
Gosh.
She's a robot. And Peter sacrifices himself for no reason. It was
Wow.
not a good issue. But
I'm glad I dropped that.
I read that last issue where that lady became that gigantic spider, and then there was all those zombie creatures around, and I'm just like, wow, this is too far fetched even for me. Like I could not get into that. That book came out last year too. Like it was 2019 when that book first was released.
Yeah.
And it took all this time for it to come out, and just the story not being that great. I could not spend the money on it. Huh?
One more issue, so I was like, I have to finish this off.
Oh, there is still one more?
That was it. That was the last.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna, finish it off. But
I told myself I don't care. I just don't.
I couldn't. I almost dropped it after the first issue, but the second one was enough for me.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
All right. So then let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man real quick, right? This was a huge battle between Kindred and Peter, and basically Kindred beats the shit out of him. He kills him multiple times. He resurrects him. He says he's in hell. It's because of his friends. It's because of him that his friends are in danger all the time. It's all his fault. He shouldn't be doing the things that he's doing. None of this stuff would have been happening. What did you think about this issue?
Repetitive. And that MJ ending was probably the best, but also just not even good. I'm like, oh, she's back in danger. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was forgettable, honestly.
It was better than some of the issues in this arc, but I agree. It was a little repetitive. It was, the whole thing with him and Harry. I like that Spencer kind of, spoke to the fans and that, you're the one, I'm the one that everyone thinks of, all that kind of stuff. So it was speaking to what we say, but at the same time, it didn't fix it for me,
Mm-hmm.
And,
the dialogue. Oh, sorry, Brent.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say also the dialogue for that part, the beginning, was really bad. Like the stuff Peter said was so out of character. He's like, I hate you. You're the worst. I knew it was you the whole time. It's just like, what? Where did this dialogue come from?
Yeah. And then
you said you have daddy issues and stuff like that.
Why would Peter never say that to a friend? He'd try to be like, you're not this person, step off the ledge. Like he would try to.
He did say that at first. Like he did say, hey, Harry, you can beat this. And then I think when he started getting his ass beat, he got pissed off.
I guess.
I don't know. If he beat up, he'd still be like, you're not like this. Because that's Peter. He never gives up to try to, save his friends.
Right. Yeah.
Range. It's just like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
I want to know. Oh, sorry, Brant. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but then you have oh, is that Moreland? Oh, all my friends are walking into a trap. Oh no, there's Mary Jane. It was just like, oh my God, no. And
cliche.
Yeah, and I didn't love Bagley's art in this either, which made me sad.
I agree. It felt rushed. It didn't feel like it wasn't his best work.
Right.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. What I want to know is how Harry became Kindred.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. I want to see the origin story of that character.
Issues.
What's that?
You won't get that for another 50 issues.
Oh, please. My God. But I would have loved to know, like, I would have loved to get that in this issue, right?
Yeah.
We've seen Peter get captured. He's in danger. And he says, Harry. It's like, I can't believe it's you. And then he somehow maybe goes into the origin story. You want to know how I got to this point, you know? And then he tells the backstory to Peter. And then it ends off on some other cliffhanger where maybe then he shows the other characters or something weird like that. But it was like you said, it was repetitive. It was a very brutal issue, what he did to him. Like, he kept on literally killing him, but it was the same thing over and over, and it didn't accomplish anything new in the story. And that's what's frustrating.
Yeah, I do like, Tevye mentioned the deal with Mephisto, and I think that's what Harry's trying to get him to admit that he did.
Sure,
which I like that. I like that they're addressing that. But at the same time, it's like, why reveal yourself to Peter if you're not going to tell him why or how you became kindred? That just doesn't track for me.
And also, like, going back to, like, the Mephisto stuff, I feel like it baits us a little bit too much. We want one day to not, exist or whatever. And It's just like, are you going to do it? Why are you just teasing it? Why is it taking so long? It's just like, it feels unfair.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So that was the little Amazing Spider-Man talk. I just wanted to talk about that because it's crazy how that's not on our list, and it's supposedly an important storyline, so
That's sad, honestly. It was not a big issue, and it should be a big issue.
Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to pass it on. I'm going to pass it on to Brant. We're going to talk about our most anticipated comics coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, which I was not prepared with my banner, but there it is. All right, so we got a bunch of books. I left some of the ones on there that only one of us marked because, why not? Exactly. I'll talk about this one real quick because I just want to. I don't usually read the Tales from the Dark Multiverse books, but I'm curious what they do with Crisis on Infinite Earths, so I might try that one out. Let's see. Let's talk Immortal Hulk number 41. I think, Mike, you're the only one that marked that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed Immortal Hulk, so we're still dealing with the whole leader situation. Banner dealing with the loss of multiple personalities at this point. And in this issue, he's going to be battling the Thing because the Thing meets up with him, I think, at the end of the last issue. And he knows that Hulk is a wanted criminal at this point, so they're going to be fighting each other.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun.
Cool. And Kat, we mentioned this book earlier in the show. Second Coming, Only Begotten Son, issue 1.
Yeah, I'm excited for this to return. It's been a while. I really enjoyed that first volume. I thought it was really good. Jesus is the roommate of a superhero, and I really enjoyed this book. So I hope the second volume's as good as that first one.
Yeah. And the only Endless Winter book that all three of us are actually going to read, Teen Titans Endless Winter Special.
I'm a little worried about this issue because I'm afraid it's going to be like really attached to Endless Winter and I'm going to be lost. But at the same time, I want to see the Teen Titans. So I'm like, we'll try it out.
Endless Winter, man.
I got to read it.
Yeah, I had the first and second. I didn't realize that I had the next two parts already committed. Okay. And so I wound up having to buy them. Like, I'm not going to tell myself, sorry, I already had it in order. And I actually read these two issues, and I felt like it improved a little bit more, but still nothing to the point where I would say I need to buy this every single week. Yeah. But at least going into this Teen Titans issue, at least I'll have an understanding of what's going on. But the last issue had a lot to deal with the Flash and how his powers are being affected because it's so cold and he can't run as fast. And
does he miss his family?
Yeah. Is he still trying to figure out how to be a family man and a superhero?
Yeah. Jesus God, man. I tell you, not my favorite story. But I'll check out Teen Titans.
So we got some King in Black stuff. Going back to Immortal Hulk, we get King in Black, the Immortal Hulk.
Which I found out is a silent issue.
Oh, is it really?
It is?
It's a silent issue.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That's interesting. And
But you didn't read it. You didn't read it yet, did you, Kat?
Not yet, but
Or you didn't look at it.
Yeah.
not yet.
Silent issues can be really good when they're done right, but I don't know.
Hopefully it will be done right. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it.
I read though because
Well, yeah, because you're not reading it.
yeah.
Okay.
This book was supposed to come out last week. Like
Oh, was
on
it?
if you look on the checklist for King and Black tie-ins and everything, it was originally supposed to come out last week, and then now it's coming out this week.
I guess closer to Christmas because it's like supposed to be a silent night, so it's like supposed to be like a Christmas.
okay.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
We'll see. Like I love my Immortal Hulk. I'm curious.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
It is going to be interesting. And then Black Cat, new volume of Black Cat, that ties in the King of Black too, I believe.
Yes, it does. That's the new one, and I guess she has a major role to play in this in this story. So I'm still looking for that first good tie-in, man. I'm doing all these tie-in series, and it's so far they're not good at all.
Yeah.
And so people are not going to care. Yeah, people are not going to care about the tie-ins, and so they're not going to care about my video either.
That's true. You're doing it for them, Mike, so they don't have to though. So
no, that's true. I'm enduring the pain for them.
Exactly. All right, we got New Mutants number 14. Is this the new creative team now taking over? Okay.
Yes.
I'm interested. I'm actually like, I don't want to say excited, but I'm definitely like really interested because I want New Mutants to be good.
Right.
Exactly. I want to read it, so I hope a new voice helps.
Yeah, same. And I'm going to try it because of that. So we'll see if they let me down. Yeah.
I am too. I'm going to check out New Mutants too to see how it turns out. Sweet. I will.
Got the second issue of Taskmaster, Mike.
Yes, I am excited for this one. Yes, the first one had great humor. We're going to get this mystery presented to us, and how they're going to solve it is still obviously unknown. But the interaction between Nick Fury and Taskmaster are priceless, and I want to see more of that.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I think we only have 2 left, which are both books that we all enjoy. Iron Man number 4. Been really enjoying that, and Hellcat.
Iron Man, I saw something in the issue.
Uh-oh.
And
You can't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying I saw something.
The only thing I can say is I read the description when I did my top 10 most anticipated for this book, and you were kind of like left to believe that Patsy was like practically dead at the end of the issue. Right. Now, because of what happens, right, to her, I think she develops some kind of superpowers or something happens to her in this particular issue. Like something changes her. I don't know what it is, but I think it has to deal with her. There's a reason why, guys, that she is in this series. And I don't think it's because this writer said, who am I going to pick to be in this series with Tony? It's going to be, you know,
I'll pick that one.
Yeah, let's just do Hellcat. You know, there's a reason why. So something major is going to happen to this character.
I'm interested.
I know something I can't say, but I'm interested too, and it's been so good so far, and I really like Hellcat, and I don't think enough is done with her. So sure, let's do something with her.
We got a question here. It says, "What's going on with that secret Robert Kirkman book?" Is he coming out? He's coming out with one? I didn't know.
Is it Firepower? Because that came out a while ago. Because it's the only book I know of that he's been doing. Unless
he's coming out with another one.
Might have been.
He has been known to drop books without a notice it before.
Right.
Maybe Fun Cooker knows a bit more than we do.
Yeah, let us know. In the meantime, we got one more book, Stillwater, number 4. This book has also been really good. We've all been really enjoying it. And now the main character is kind of blend in and, kind of figure a way out of there, by endearing himself to everyone. We'll see how that
I hope the mom gets out of that hole.
out of the hole, yeah.
I think she did. I think her sentence was up by the end of that issue. Yeah.
I think so too. I hope it's about her because I think I'm most curious about her because she's the one who probably has most answers.
Yeah.
You know what this I again last week I was doing the top 10 most anticipated, and it kind of dawned on me a little bit like what this series reminds me of. It reminds me a little bit of the Shawshank Redemption, because it's like this guy gets put in here by a bunch of BS. You know what I'm saying? He can't escape. He's got to bide his time, make everyone like him, do the things that he's supposed to do. And when everyone least expects it, he's going to escape from this place. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, hopefully, he'll be free. That's what this kind of, in a way, like a similar situation, So that's what it reminded me of, especially on the cover too, though, where it shows him in jail. It shows him in jail, and he's behind bars. So I was like, that's what kind of prompted in my mind. But of course, we got all that supernatural stuff going on in this city.
Right. No one can die.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all the most anticipated this week.
All right. So with that being said, I guess we're going to wrap things up. Any of you guys want to say anything before we close the show?
Just to vote for best comics of the year. It's on comicfrontline.com. Literally just search that and you could vote for your favorite comics favorite male hero, I think, female character. So we've been doing that every week of December, and then we have 2 more sections left, and then we'll announce all the winners. So if you vote, you help to announce the winners. So we've been having a lot of fun with it. We actually do have a lot of votes already for it, so been really happy with it. Same thing for panels of the week. We always do that every week. If you enjoy the best comics of the year, we literally do it every week for panels, and we will announce the best panel of the year as well, because we'll do like a voting thing for that as well. Other than that, everything is finally back to normal because I don't have a Kickstarter going on, so that's kind of nice. And look forward to a lot of Newsarama interviews coming up. I did 3 phone calls today, so there's a lot coming up for December and January. That should be exciting.
Yeah, and my Kickstarter wrapped earlier tonight, and very successful.
Congratulations!
Good job, Brent.
Thank you. It was above and beyond what I expected, so I'm very happy. So yeah, that's all for me right now. I'm just getting back to work after I probably take a day to recharge after this.
You can't take a break.
I can't take a break. That's what people keep telling me,
Right. And for me, I am doing my top 10 comic book cover of the year wrap up. I just put out my video yesterday, so if you guys want to go onto that video and vote for your favorite comic book cover of the year, those are the final nominees. I suggest that you do that, because if you do, right, you can win this Marvel Masterwork hardcover that features the Avengers. It covers issues 189 through 202, which, speaking of Taskmaster, first appearance of Taskmaster in there. So, you can read that story. This book actually has a cover price of $75. So it's a $75 value. So, and then when I give you the results show for the following Tuesday, or following Monday, I'm sorry, then I'll pick it from a YouTube comment generator, and we'll see who wins that prize. So, but you gotta go on that video and vote. So it's the top 10 comic book covers of the year. So really cool stuff. Happy to do that series. Can't believe it's another year in the books for me doing that. But
yeah, it's been 3 years.
Yeah, right? I think I've been doing this series for 3 years now.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's gotten a bit better every single year, and there's a lot of participants in it now. So really awesome.
That is awesome.
So-
Also, question mark, because I know Mike's not going to be on next week, and it's probably better to say it on this show. I think we're still doing a show next week. Brent, are we still doing a show next week?
I don't think we ever decided definitively.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to, I don't know if we're doing a show next week or not.
So be up in the air, basically.
Yeah, I don't
Do
know.
you want to do a show next week?
I can if you want to do it. I can't. I think we should do it. Like a shorter one. Like, well, it won't be 2 hours, but like I think we could like put something together. Like I could still do it. Again, quarantine changes everything for the holidays.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. I think I'm free if you want to do it, so we can. But we can do a short one now.
Yeah. So we'll try putting a show for you guys because like we try to be consistent. So if we can be consistent, we'll do it.
Right. Yeah, but I won't be here. I won't be here because it's my wife's birthday next Tuesday. So I won't be here. So if these two do a show, well, stay tuned for them next week. And with that, we're going to sign it off. And we're going to say thank you guys for watching. Remember, always subscribe to Comic Book Corner 2.0 or Comic Frontline. Hit the bell for notifications. You can follow us on our social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of course, YouTube. And thumbs up, all that great stuff. And guys, we really appreciate you taking the time for 2 hours of watching our show. And of course, if you watch this post live as well, that's all I got to say. We're going to sign it off. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody. I'll wait on this.